Canada's landscapes, from windswept coasts to golden prairies, have long been a draw for those seeking opportunity and community. But in 2025, not every corner of the country is keeping its residents. Some provinces and territories are losing people at a startling pace as families and workers chase better jobs, more affordable living, or stronger prospects elsewhere. What's behind this exodus? Why are Canadians leaving their home provinces behind? In this video, we're counting down the 12 Canadian provinces and territories losing residents the fastest, based on the latest data. From economic hurdles to demographic shifts, we'll explore the forces driving people away. Let's start with the first three and see what's unfolding across Canada's diverse regions. 12. Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador, where rugged cliffs embrace the Atlantic and fishing villages glow with maritime charm, is a province steeped in history and natural splendor. Yet in 2025, this eastern outpost is struggling to keep its residents, as more people leave than choose to stay. Statistics Canada reports that Newfoundland and Labrador saw a net population loss of 301 people in Q4 2024, a slight 0.1% decline. This fits a broader trend. In 2023, the province lost 1,700 people through interprovincial migration, with many heading to Alberta and Ontario. The population, estimated at 545,000 in 2025, has been flat or shrinking for years. A key driver is the negative natural increase, with 4,200 births compared to 5,100 deaths in 2023, reflecting an aging population. Economic challenges are also significant. The decline of traditional industries like fishing and offshore oil has reduced job opportunities, especially for younger residents. The unemployment rate stood at 9.8% in 2024, one of Canada's highest, pushing many to seek work in provinces with stronger economies, like Alberta's energy sector. Interprovincial migration data shows a net loss of 2,038 people in 2023, with Alberta as a top destination. High living costs in rural areas and limited healthcare access further encourage retirees to relocate. A notable detail: St. John's, the capital, is home to Signal Hill, where the first transatlantic wireless signal was received in 1901. But even this historic allure isn't enough to stem the outflow of residents seeking better prospects. 11. Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island, with its crimson beaches and quaint Charlottetown streets, feels like a serene escape from the hustle of modern life. However, this smallest province is quietly losing residents as economic and demographic pressures mount. In Q4 2024, Prince Edward Island recorded a net population loss of 21 people, a negligible 0.0% decline per Statistics Canada. More telling is the 2023 interprovincial migration data, showing a net loss of 1,330 people, primarily to Ontario and Alberta. The province's population, around 178,000 in 2025, is struggling to grow after a brief pandemic-era boost when remote workers flocked to its affordable housing. A negative natural increase is a major factor, with 1,400 births and 1,600 deaths in 2023, driven by an aging population and a low fertility rate of 1.33 children per woman. Economically, PEI relies on tourism and agriculture, but job opportunities are limited, with a 7.2% unemployment rate in 2024. Young professionals often leave for urban hubs like Toronto or Calgary, where tech and energy jobs are plentiful. Housing affordability, once a strength, is waning. Charlottetown's median home price hit $375,000 in 2024, up 40% since 2019, against a median household income of $68,000. In 2023, PEI lost a net 800 people to Ontario alone. A notable detail: PEI's nickname, Gentle Island, reflects its warm communities and events like the Charlottetown Festival. But these aren't enough to keep residents from moving to provinces with more opportunities. 10. Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, where Halifax's lively waterfront blends with the charm of coastal towns, is a province of maritime pride and scenic beauty. Yet in 2025, it's facing a subtle but troubling loss of residents, marking a shift from its recent population gains. Statistics. Canada noted a net population loss of 49 people in Nova Scotia during Q4 2024, a 0.0% decline. This follows a net interprovincial migration loss of 359 people in Q3 2024, with many moving to Alberta. The province's population, at 1.07 million in 2025, had grown during 2020-2022, gaining 9,949 people from interprovincial migration in 2020-2021, largely from Ontario. However, 2023 and 2024 saw a reversal. A negative natural increase is a key driver, with 8,200 births and 9,700 deaths in 2023, reflecting an aging population and a fertility rate of 1.33. Economic factors also contribute. While Halifax's tech and education sectors are expanding, rural areas face job shortages, with a 6.5% unemployment rate in 2024. Housing costs have risen sharply, with Halifax's median home price reaching $490,000, a 50% increase since 2019, while median household income is $72,000. This affordability gap pushes residents toward provinces like Alberta, where jobs in oil and gas offer higher wages. In 2023, Nova Scotia lost a net 2,100 people through interprovincial migration. A notable detail: Nova Scotia's Peggy's Cove, with its iconic lighthouse, draws tourists worldwide, but its charm isn't enough to keep residents from seeking better economic prospects elsewhere. 9. Northwest Territories. The Northwest Territories, where the Northern Lights paint the sky above vast tundra and Yellowknife's vibrant community shines, is a region of breathtaking beauty and rugged resilience. Yet in 2025, this Northern Territory is losing residents faster than many other parts of Canada, as unique challenges drive people south. Statistics. Canada reported a population decline of 0.5% in the Northwest Territories for Q3 2023, with a net loss of 63 people through interprovincial migration in Q3 2024. The territory's population, estimated at 45,000 in 2025, has been stagnant or shrinking, with a net loss of 1,400 people to interprovincial migration in 2023, one of the highest per capita rates in Canada. Alberta and British Columbia are the top destinations, drawing residents with stronger job markets and lower living costs. Economic limitations are a primary driver. The Northwest Territories relies heavily on mining and government employment, but job opportunities are scarce outside these sectors, with an unemployment rate of 5.8% in 2024. The cost of living is exceptionally high. Yellowknife's median home price is $420,000, and groceries are 30% more expensive than in southern Canada due to remote logistics. For example, a gallon of milk can cost $10, compared to $5 in Ontario. The natural increase is nearly flat, with 600 births and 500 deaths in 2023, as the territory has a small young population. Interprovincial migration data highlights significant outflows, with 1.4% of the territory's population moving to Alberta in 2023, largely for oil and gas jobs. Harsh winters, with temperatures dropping to 30 degrees Celsius, and limited healthcare access also push families and retirees to more temperate provinces. A notable detail: Yellowknife is one of the world's best places to view the aurora borealis. attracting tourists, but not enough to keep residents from seeking more affordable and opportunity-rich regions. The Northwest Territory's unique allure can't outweigh the practical challenges driving this exodus. 8. New Brunswick. New Brunswick, where the Bay of Fundy's dramatic tides meet Fredericton's historic charm, is a province of natural wonders and tight-knit communities. However, in 2025, it's facing a steady loss of residents, as economic and demographic pressures send people to other parts of Canada. In Q4 2024, New Brunswick recorded a net population loss of 243 people, a 0.0% decline, according to Statistics Canada. More significantly, the province lost a net 5,041 people through interprovincial migration in 2023, with Ontario and Alberta as primary destinations. The population, estimated at 850,000 in 2025, has seen slower growth compared to the 2020-2022 pandemic boom, when remote workers boosted numbers. A negative natural increase is a key factor, with 7,300 births and 8,600 deaths in 2023, reflecting an aging population and a fertility rate of 1.33, well below the replacement level. Economic challenges also drive out migration. New Brunswick's economy relies on forestry, fishing, and tourism, but job growth is limited, with a 7.0% unemployment rate in 2024. Young professionals are drawn to Ontario's tech hubs or Alberta's energy sector, where wages are higher. The median household income in New Brunswick is $66,000, but Moncton's median home price has climbed to $330,000, up 35% since 2019, straining affordability. Interprovincial migration trends show a net loss of 2,900 people to Ontario in 2023, as residents seek urban opportunities. Rural areas, with limited healthcare and infrastructure, also push retirees to provinces like British Columbia. A notable detail: New Brunswick's Hopewell Rocks, where the Bay of Fundy's tides create stunning rock formations, draw visitors worldwide, but the province's economic constraints are prompting residents to look elsewhere for a brighter future. 7. Manitoba, Manitoba, where Winnipeg's vibrant urban core meets the endless horizons of prairie farmland, is a province of diverse landscapes and cultural richness. Yet in 2025, it's losing residents at a concerning rate, as economic and social factors drive people to other provinces. Statistics. Canada data shows Manitoba lost 1,058 people through interprovincial migration in Q3 2024, contributing to a 0.1% population decline in Q4 2024. The province's population, estimated at 1.47 million in 2025, has been impacted by a net loss of 9,605 people to interprovincial migration in 2023, one of the highest in Canada. Alberta and Ontario are the top destinations, attracting residents with stronger job markets. The natural increase is slightly negative, with 16,500 births and 16,800 deaths in 2023, driven by an aging population and a fertility rate of 1.5. Economic challenges are a major push factor. Manitoba's economy, rooted in agriculture, manufacturing, and healthcare, faces slow job growth, with a 5.5% unemployment rate in 2024. Winnipeg's median home price has risen to $360,000, a 30% increase since 2019, while the median household income is $70,000, creating affordability issues for young families. Interprovincial migration data reveals a net loss of 4,200 people to Alberta in 2023, largely due to higher wages in the energy sector. Rural Manitoba's limited services, including healthcare access, also push residents to urban provinces like Ontario. A notable detail: Winnipeg's Forks, a historic market where the Red and Assiniboine rivers meet, is a cultural hub, but even this vibrant center can't counter the economic pull of other provinces. Manitoba's residents are seeking opportunities that the province struggles to provide. 6. Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan, where golden wheat fields stretch under endless skies and Regina's legislative building gleams, is a province of prairie pride and natural abundance. But in 2025, it's seeing residents leave at an accelerating pace as economic and demographic shifts take their toll. In Q3 2024, Saskatchewan lost 1,604 people through interprovincial migration, contributing to a 0.1% population decline in Q4 2024, per Statistics Canada. The province's population, estimated at 1.22 million in 2025, saw a net loss of 11,275 people to interprovincial migration in 2023, one of the largest outflows in Canada. Alberta is the primary destination, followed by British Columbia and Ontario. A negative natural increase is a factor, with 13,800 births and 14,200 deaths in 2023, reflecting an aging population and a fertility rate of 1.6. Economic challenges are significant. Saskatchewan's economy relies on agriculture, mining, and oil, but job growth has slowed, with a 5.7% unemployment rate in 2024. Saskatoon's median home price has reached $390,000, up 35% since 2019, while the median household income is $74,000, making home ownership tougher for young residents. Interprovincial migration trends show a net loss of 6,800 people to Alberta in 2023, driven by higher-paying jobs in oil and gas. Rural areas, facing declining services and infrastructure, also lose residents to urban provinces. A notable detail: Saskatchewan's Grasslands National Park, with its sweeping plains and rare wildlife, is a natural treasure, but the province's economic and demographic challenges are pushing residents toward regions with more robust opportunities. 5. Quebec. Quebec, where Montreal's vibrant streets pulse with cultural energy and Quebec City's cobblestone charm evokes a European dream, is a province steeped in history and creativity. Yet, in 2025, even this cultural powerhouse is losing residents, as economic pressures and policy challenges push people toward other parts of Canada. Statistics: Canada reported a net loss of 7,689 people through interprovincial migration in Q3 2024, contributing to a 0.2% population decline in Q4 2024. Quebec's population, estimated at 9.03 million in 2025, saw a net loss of 29,153 people to interprovincial migration in 2023, one of the largest outflows in Canada. Ontario and Alberta are the primary destinations, drawing residents with stronger job markets and fewer regulatory hurdles. A slightly negative natural increase is a factor, with 80,600 births and 82,300 deaths in 2023, reflecting a low fertility rate of 1.45 children per woman and an aging population. Economic challenges are significant. While Montreal's tech and aerospace sectors are robust, rural areas face job shortages, and the province's unemployment rate was 5.2% in 2024. High provincial taxes and stringent language policies, such as Bill 96 strengthening French language requirements, have prompted some Anglophone and Allophone residents, particularly young professionals, to relocate. Montreal's median home price has climbed to $540,000, a 40% increase since 2019, while the median household income is $76,000, creating affordability issues. Interprovincial migration data shows a net loss of 14,800 people to Ontario in 2023, driven by lower taxes and more English-friendly job opportunities. Rural Quebec's limited healthcare and infrastructure also push retirees to provinces like British Columbia. A notable detail: Quebec City's Winter Carnival, with its stunning snow sculptures and festive atmosphere, draws visitors worldwide. But even this cultural gem can't counter the economic and policy pressures driving residents to seek better prospects elsewhere. 4. Yukon, where Whitehorse's welcoming streets nestle beneath towering mountains and the Klondike's gold rush legacy lingers, is a territory of raw beauty and adventurous spirit. But in 2025, this northern haven is losing residents at a notable rate, as harsh conditions and economic realities drive people south. In Q3 2024, Yukon recorded a net loss of 245 people through interprovincial migration, contributing to a 0.6% population decline, according to Statistics Canada. The territory's population, estimated at 45,000 in 2025, saw a net loss of 1,058 people to interprovincial migration in 2023, a significant per capita outflow for such a small population. British Columbia and Alberta are the top destinations, offering milder climates and more robust economies. The natural increase is nearly flat, with 500 births and 400 deaths in 2023, as Yukon has a small young population. Economic constraints are a major driver. The territory's economy relies on mining, tourism, and government jobs, but opportunities outside these sectors are limited, with a 5.5% unemployment rate in 2024. Whitehorse's median home price is $510,000, a 35% increase since 2019, while the median household income is $82,000, making housing a challenge. Living costs are high. Groceries in Whitehorse are 25% more expensive than in Vancouver, with a loaf of bread costing up to $5. Interprovincial migration trends show a net loss of 600 people to British Columbia in 2023, driven by better job prospects and warmer weather. Yukon's harsh winters, with temperatures often dropping to 30 degrees, and limited healthcare access also push families and retirees to southern provinces. A notable detail, Yukon's Dawson City, heart of the Klondike Gold Rush, hosts the annual Yukon Quest, one of the world's toughest dog sled races, but even this adventurous tradition can't keep residents from seeking more affordable and opportunity-rich regions. 3. Nunavut, where Iqaluit's colorful homes stand resilient on Arctic tundra and the midnight sun illuminates vast icy landscapes, is a territory of profound beauty and enduring communities. Yet, in 2025, this northernmost region is losing residents at one of the fastest rates in Canada, driven by extreme conditions and systemic challenges. Statistics Canada reported a 0.7% population decline in Nunavut for Q3 2024, with a net loss of 132 people through interprovincial migration in the same quarter. The territory's population, estimated at 40,000 in 2025, saw a net loss of 916 people to interprovincial migration in 2023, a substantial outflow for a small population. Ontario and Alberta are primary destinations, offering better infrastructure and job opportunities. The natural increase is positive but slowing, with 900 births and 300 deaths in 2023, reflecting a young population but a declining fertility rate of 2.0, down from 2.5 a decade ago. Economic challenges are profound. Nunavut's economy depends on government services, mining, and small-scale fishing, but jobs are scarce, with an unemployment rate of 8.5% in 2024, among Canada's highest. Iqaluit's median home price is $450,000, high for a remote region, and living costs are staggering. Groceries are 40% more expensive than in southern Canada, with a liter of milk costing up to $7. Interprovincial migration data shows a net loss of 400 people to Ontario in 2023, driven by access to better health care and education. Nunavut's extreme climate, with winter temperatures averaging 35 degrees, and systemic issues like overcrowded housing and limited medical facilities push residents to southern provinces. A notable detail, Nunavut's Comarviat Territorial Park an archaeological site preserving ancient Inuit history, is a cultural treasure, but the territory's harsh realities are driving residents to seek more sustainable lives elsewhere. 2. British Columbia. British Columbia, where Vancouver's skyline gleams against a backdrop of snow-capped mountains and Victoria's historic harbor radiates timeless charm, is a province of breathtaking beauty and dynamic urban life. Yet, in 2025, this western jewel is losing residents at a startling pace, as soaring costs and economic challenges push people toward more affordable provinces. According to Statistics Canada, British Columbia recorded a net loss of 8,071 people through interprovincial migration in Q3 2024, contributing to a 0.2% population decline in Q4 2024. The province's population, estimated at 5.6 million in 2025, saw a net loss of 23,497 people to interprovincial migration in 2023. A significant outflow for one of Canada's most populous regions. Alberta is the primary destination, followed by Ontario, as residents seek lower living costs and better housing affordability. The natural increase is slightly positive, with 40,200 births and 41,800 deaths in 2023, but a low fertility rate of 1.3 children per woman limits population growth. Economic challenges are the dominant driver. British Columbia's economy, fueled by tech, tourism, and film industries, thrives in urban centers like Vancouver, but the cost of living is among Canada's highest. Vancouver's median home price has soared to $1.2 million, a 50% increase since 2019, while the median household income is $90,000. Creating one of the worst affordability ratios in the country. The unemployment rate was 5.0% in 2024, but high taxes and living expenses, such as childcare costs averaging $200 a month, push young families and professionals to provinces like Alberta, where housing is more attainable. Interprovincial migration data shows a net loss of 15,600 people to Alberta in 2023, driven by Alberta's lower taxes, no provincial sales tax, and booming energy sector offering higher wages. Rural British Columbia's high costs and limited services also encourage retirees to move to provinces like Ontario. A notable detail, British Columbia's Stanley Park, a lush urban oasis in Vancouver, is one of Canada's most visited natural attractions, drawing millions annually. But even this iconic landmark can't keep residents from fleeing the province's skyrocketing costs. 1. Ontario, Ontario, where Toronto's towering skyline meets the tranquil shores of the Great Lakes and Ottawa's historic landmarks stand proud, is Canada's economic and cultural heartbeat. But in 2025, this powerhouse province is bleeding residents faster than any other, as high costs and shifting opportunities drive an unprecedented exodus. Statistics. Canada reported a net loss of 31,814 people through interprovincial migration in Q3 2024, contributing to a 0.3% population decline in Q4 2024. Ontario's population, estimated at 15.7 million in 2025, saw a staggering net loss of 74,378 people to interprovincial migration in 2023, the largest in Canada. Alberta and British Columbia are the top destinations, attracting residents with lower costs or different lifestyle opportunities. The natural increase is slightly positive, with 138,500 births and 131,200 deaths in 2023, but a fertility rate of 1.35 children per woman limits growth. Economic pressures are the primary driver. Ontario's economy, anchored by finance, tech, and manufacturing, is robust, with a 4.8% unemployment rate in 2024, but the cost of living in urban centers like Toronto is prohibitive. Toronto's median home price has reached $1.1 million, up 45% since 2019, while the median household income is $92,000, making homeownership unattainable for many. High provincial taxes and child care costs, often exceeding $1,500 a month, further strain families. Interprovincial migration trends show a net loss of 36,400 people to Alberta in 2023, driven by Alberta's lower taxes, no provincial sales tax, and energy sector jobs offering higher wages. Young professionals and families are also moving to Atlantic provinces like Nova Scotia for more affordable housing, reversing Ontario's historical trend as a migration magnet. Rural Ontario's limited job opportunities and infrastructure push residents to urban hubs in other provinces. A notable detail: Ontario's Niagara Falls, one of the world's most famous natural wonders, draws millions of tourists each year. But even this iconic attraction can't stem the tide of residents leaving for more affordable and opportunity-rich regions. From the maritime villages of Newfoundland and Labrador to the bustling cities of Ontario, Canada's provinces and territories are grappling with a wave of population shifts. Economic challenges, such as sky-high housing costs in British Columbia and limited job prospects in Nunavut, are pushing residents to provinces like Alberta, where affordability and employment are more accessible. Aging populations and low birth rates, evident in Quebec and Manitoba, further hinder growth, while unique regional factors, like Yukon's harsh winters, accelerate the exodus. These 12 regions reveal the diverse forces reshaping Canada's demographic landscape in 2025. Which province's outflow surprised you the most? Are you noticing these trends where you live? Share your thoughts below and stay tuned for more insights into Canada's evolving story.